Hello there and welcome to day 4, the last day of the Pain-Free Breakthrough Challenge. As some of you might know, in this challenge I am sharing some fundamental lessons from my Pain-Free Breakthrough program, which is a comprehensive chronic pain recovery program that you can purchase and access through my website. But, however, if you have been following this challenge and you've been sharing the insights from your daily tasks in this Facebook group, then you will be in with a chance of winning free access to this program. So you might want to wait a while until tomorrow to check out whether you're the winner of this program and then make your decisions accordingly. Okay, so today I just wanted to touch on the subject of conditioning because it's so important to understand if you have been suffering from chronic pain for a really long time. So pain in most cases can be a conditioned response, unless there is acute pain, like the pain that you feel when you hit your elbow against the door or when you've just twisted your ankle. When it's chronic pain, usually there's an element of conditioning. And conditioning is a process that happens when the brain interprets a specific trigger as potentially dangerous or associates it with painful symptoms. So it could be that the first time that you got back pain, you spent the day working at your desk, sitting down. And because of that, your brain registers the idea that maybe sitting down for a long period of time will trigger your back pain. So what happens is that each time you try to sit down for a certain time, you start to feel the pain come on. Okay, and the same can happen with, for example, walking. For example, some people cannot walk for more than 5 minutes or more than 30 minutes, and then the pain just starts, So basically what's happening there is, again, the trigger in that case is a specific activity. Sometimes it can also be just a specific movement, okay? Or in some cases, it can also be a specific location or place. So some people, for example, get more intense symptoms when they're having dinner out or when they're around certain other people or at someone else's house. Some people feel more pain when they're at their own home rather than when they're outside. So it all works differently for different people. We all have different triggers, but it's the same process that's going on, and that is the conditioning. So just to give an example here, this is your brain and how it kind of works when conditioning is at play, right? So when there is a conditioning response, let's say you go running, but you're still thinking that maybe running is bad for your body, it will harm your body or cause pain. Your brain is thinking like, hey, the last time we did this activity, the last time we ran, I was in pain, so we need to stop this. And as a result, it can actually fire more pain signals in your body to get you to stop doing that activity, to get you to stop running, okay? However, once you have eliminated the conditioning response, your brain will start to think differently. It will start to interpret the activity in a different way. And it will say something like, I think that running is a safe and enjoyable activity. There's no need to create any more pain. This is safe. So as you see, the key element here is safety, okay? When your brain interprets danger in a movement or in an activity or in a situation, it's more likely to fire pain, the pain signal, which is a danger signal in itself. When you believe and firmly believe that whatever you're doing is safe for you and for your body, then your brain registers the idea that, hey, this is totally okay. It doesn't need to create pain as a result. The problem is that as we carry around certain beliefs about our body, which is something that we covered already in this challenge, so when we believe that our body might be weak or damaged, and when we believe that a specific activity might be causing pain, then we end up anticipating the pain, we end up firing the danger signal as soon as we engage in a similar activity. And this is why you might have pain each time you sit, or you might have pain when you use a specific chair, but not another. And this is how we create all sorts of behaviors that we think might be helping us, but they're actually making things worse for us. They're actually strengthening the conditioning process. So just to continue with the example of the chair, let's say you've decided that it's the chair that's causing your back pain, and you buy a new highly ergonomic chair that maybe, you feel more comfortable in it, fine. But then you condition yourself to believe that using any other chair except this one is going to create a flare-up, is going to create pain. So in that sense, you've conditioned yourself that each time you're going to go out and sit somewhere else on a different chair, you're going to be in pain. Okay, so that's just one simple example. And this is why in my program, I eventually get you to cut out all sorts of defensive strategies that try to keep the pain at bay. Any strategies that are not really normal for someone who is not in pain. Someone who is not in pain would probably still choose a comfortable chair, of course. Everyone likes to be sitting in a comfortable chair. But someone who is not in pain wouldn't be thinking like, oh, I need to go to this 1-hour lecture today and I'm going to have to sit on a different chair and this might cause a flare-up and oh, who knows how it's going to be like today, and all that fear and anxiety. Okay, so a pain-free person wouldn't think that way and wouldn't have made himself dependent on a specific chair or on a specific pair of shoes or on a specific pillow. There are all sorts of strategies and behaviors that we adopt to try to ward off our pain that are actually strengthening the conditioning response. Because then when the brain registers the idea that maybe you're not using the strategy anymore or you're doing something more risky, then it's more likely to fire the pain. So the trick is to always train the brain to feel safe, whatever you're doing. As long as the activity is okay to do for someone your age with your fitness level, for someone who is not injured, then it's about training the brain to feel safe again doing those activities. And I go into more detail on how to do this further on in my program. Of course, it's sometimes a gradual approach. There are different factors you have to take into account so as not to overwhelm yourself and so as not to take too much risk. Because, of course, we don't want to feed the idea into the brain that we've overdone anything. But for today, I'd just like you to think about how the conditioning process might be playing out in your day-to-day life. What kind of activities tend to trigger maybe more pain or a flare-up in you? Are those activities really dangerous, or is there a belief that they are dangerous? Okay. And the task for today is also to get you to think about your avoidance behavior in your day-to-day life. What kind of things do you avoid in order to try and ward off the pain? What kind of strategies do you adopt? Okay. And it's not to say that you have to ditch all of these strategies, maybe not yet, but it's just to make you aware of how you're structuring your life in a way that maybe you're making the brain feel unsafe during specific day-to-day activities even. Okay, so read the task in the description, it's explained there, and remember to comment with your insights from today's task so that you'll be in with a chance of winning free access to my Pain-Free Breakthrough program tomorrow. That's all from me for today, and I hope you've enjoyed this challenge. Please let me know if you have any feedback, and that's it. I wish you all the best on your pain recovery journey. Bye-bye.